It's now time for Energy Insights, where you get an inside view and local perspectives of all the oil and gas progress going on in the Mid-Ohio Valley. This program is being brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association and can be heard every Saturday at 9 a.m. on local radio WMOA AM 1490 and ESPN radio WJAW FM 100.9 and AM 630. It's now time for the show. Here's Johnny Wharf, your local host.
Energy Insights on the radio, and we're joined by Don Huck from Artex Oil Company again. And in our previous show, we talked about completions of wells, and maybe we can expound upon that a little bit as we look at the different ways that you stimulate getting that oil out of the ground.
Hydraulic fracturing is the one that everybody talks about these days. Hydraulic fracturing's been around since the 40s. It's nothing new. It's been around a long, long time. But there's been a lot of other completion techniques that have happened over the years. Back in the days when they used cable tool rigs and things like that, you had a lot of open hole completions, and they would go in and actually what they called shoot the wells. And they would use nitroglycerin, TNT, just anything to go down. They would set off that charge, and it would fracture the rock that way, just a physical fracturing of the rock. And rocks would blow out of the ground and that sort of thing, and that was it. That's all you did to the well, and the natural gas flowed behind it, and that was the completion technique.
The old, when you bring up TNT, I'm seeing that bundle of dynamite, and I'm looking at the Old West, but that was how they completed it, right?
Yes, that's true. They would lower that into the well. They might drop a weighted bar that went down, and just the impact of that bar hitting it would set off the charge. Then later on, they started putting clocks on them, so they had timers, so they knew exactly when it was going to go off, so they had so much time to lower it in the well and get it in the right place. So, yeah, evolution along those lines.
There's a grand misconception, I think, with some folks that this has just come around the corner in the last couple of years, but we're talking hundreds of years of fracking as it is known now, right?
Well, sure. Like I said, it's been around since the 1940s. Just as an example, Dowell, who was one of the fracturing companies along with Halliburton, after World War II, there was this surplus of Allison airplane engines, just rows and rows and rows of these engines in crates. And Dowell bought them off, Dow Chemical bought them off of the government or the military, and they put them on frac pumps. And that was the horsepower that drove the fracturing pumps. So you can at least go back to 1945 to 1950 to know that those were the engines that were used. So it's been around a long time.
So bring us just to 2017 and specific to your company or companies in this area, Mid-Ohio Valley, and the industry, and what the process now is to stimulate these wells.
Well, and the operation is exactly the same. Whether you've drilled a vertical well or you've drilled a horizontal well, hydraulic fracturing is exactly the same. You're pumping water and sand and a low percentage of chemicals down there. But now with the horizontal wells, you just turn the corner and you go horizontal and you frack each stage inside that same rock formation. You just do it over and over again as you work your way back, if it's a 5,000-foot lateral or something like that. The operation is exactly the same as if you drilled a vertical Clinton well in 1975 or whatever. It's mostly water and sand and some horsepower.
All right. Don Huck with Artex Oil Company, our guest on Energy Insights. And a final question, just for the listeners, are you busy right now? I mean, I ask that in a general sense because, A, I appreciate you taking time with me because I know you're busy, but in a general sense of the industry.
Yeah, the industry is quite busy. The technology of the horizontal wells creates such volumes of oil and natural gas that's flooded the market with a lot of those products. So prices are not great. Oil prices have been creeping up. Natural gas prices have been really stable for quite some time because there's so much of the commodity on the market. So yes, we're busy, but we work inside of certain economic parameters, and sometimes we're busier than others.
All right, Energy Insights. Don Huck is our guest with Artex Oil Company, brought to you each Saturday here on the radio by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association.
Thank you for listening to Energy Insights, brought to you by the Southeastern Ohio Oil and Gas Association. Tune in every Saturday at 9 a.m. on WMOA and ESPN Radio WJAW as Johnny Wolf brings you your local and inside perspectives of the oil and gas progress going on in the Mid-Ohio Valley.